Alright, SEC West fans, this is Rick again. I'm going to do two shows today. One will be the LSU and Florida game, and the other I'm going to talk about Arkansas and Auburn. Um, LSU and Florida is, the game that means more. The two highly ranked teams are playing. But I think Auburn versus Arkansas is more interesting in a couple ways, but I'll get to that later. Before I start, too, if y'all look way over here, I'll use this paper towel for a pointer. But if you can see, my office this year has been decorated by the opposing team. Some asshole in my office wants puts all this up before we play a game. Y'all can see we got the Gators already. This is starting to turn into a website or a wall of shame. All our victims so far. So I'm really glad my buddy put the Gator stuff up there already, because that's very important. That's a good omen. LSU and Florida. Here's some of the notes I've made so far. Looks like Charlie Weiss is playing NFL style offensive coordinator, where he's trying to say, he's not really specifying who his starting quarterback's going to be. He's kind of playing that game. He threw out three names that I saw on Twitter today. Alabama hurt both their the first string quarterback and the second. I do have a question for all Florida fans. Where in the hell is Burton in the quarterback rotation? I know he did well last year, but I haven't seen him, and nobody answers me. So if you do know, let me know. Florida got decimated last week against Alabama physically. They've got physically, emotionally, everything. That was a very, very, very tough loss, injury-wise. I don't know how Muschamp practiced his guys this week. If he did the old thing like he did when he was at LSU, you worked their ass off real hard after a loss, or what. I don't know. Depending on that and what kind of practice they were having, I don't know if these guys are going to have their legs back after that beating they took at Alabama. I mean, that was a serious butt whipping, and Tide fans, I commend you for that. Florida's wide receivers this year, there's DeBose, and he had one big play against Alabama. He's going to be a real key contributor one day, but I don't think he's going to be much in this game. You got Dempsey and Rainey. They're two running backs who combined, I think they got 15 yards against Alabama. And another key thing here is LSU's defense. And we're going to see November 5th who's really the best defense. But if we're looking at both Alabama and LSU, you can split hairs and say which one's best. I don't know. I will say Alabama's probably, they look sharper at this point in time. They look a little, not a much. Since it is October, well, I got the stats out. This is just for the SEC teams. I don't think stats really mean anything till October, and probably November is when they really become more important. But some of the things I've looked at when I'm comparing these two teams is the passing offense. Alabama is ranked 5th. LSU is 8th. This is in the SEC alone. This is not national rankings. Pass defense, LSU is down to 9 in the SEC. You believe that? Florida is up there at 5. That West Virginia game really killed our pass defense numbers. Passing efficiency, LSU is 4. Florida is 5. That was surprising to me. That's why I like looking at stats. I know this gets kind of boring, but it's stuff worth mentioning. Rushing offense, Florida is ranked number 2 in the SEC. Looks like they're averaging 5.18 yards a carry. LSU is all the way down at 7 in the SEC, averaging 3.96 yards per carry. See, that's interesting to me too, because I thought we were been running the ball pretty good, but at this point in time, we're not even middle of the pack at SEC. Rushing defense, LSU is 2, Florida is 3. Alabama fans, Alabama's number 1, and the yards per game so far, Alabama's got 39 yards per game. LSU's got 60. So I would imagine Alabama's going to have that category. They're probably going to win the SEC rushing defense championship this year already. I don't say any team's going to catch them. Scoring defense, LSU is 2, Florida's 3. Scoring offense, LSU is 3, Florida is 6. That's interesting. Going on down the line here, I won't be much longer. Turnovers gained, LSU is 3, Florida is 10. So that's telling you, and that's also reflected in the turnover margin, where LSU is 1 and Florida is 10. What that means is LSU in this last couple of weeks, and we've all seen it, they've pretty much been living off turnovers. Tyrann Mathieu and the rest of the guys are making a lot of those, and some of them the quarterback's just making bad decisions because you've got any number one of our 8 awesome defensive linemen in the game in the quarterback's face. So that's used, the turnover margin. So in this game, you're going to look for turnovers, see if LSU can continue that or Florida can get over it. And that's another thing. One of the Florida media people I was tweeting with were talking about turnovers are going to be big. I agree. I mean, the question is LSU, say LSU doesn't get any turnovers off Florida, are we still going to be able to maintain that? That's a big question. So Florida's really going to have to hold on to the ball in this game. It's going to be critical. Sacks, LSU is 2nd. Florida is 6th. Tackles for loss, LSU is 1, Florida's 5. 2 more, guys. No, that was it. Okay, that's it. So, considering the 12-point spread, it's at home against LSU. Florida's beat up. We don't know who their quarterback is, and the way our defense is playing, I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't. And even though I'm a homer LSU fan, I got all the respect in the world for Florida, but I think we've got too much for them this year. And considering the way this series has been in the last 10 years, where Meyer and Saban were 3-3 against each other, so that's a 6-year rivalry, and it's gone way before that. Um, our guys playing Florida means a lot. Florida's not going to sneak up on us. Florida's not going to catch LSU off guard. Florida's going to get LSU's A game. The question is whether Florida's going to bring their A game to Baton Rouge. And I'm telling you, even if they do bring their A game to Baton Rouge, even if they don't turn the ball over, even if Florida can find a way to get something going on offense with that beat-up quarterback, even if they can get their legs, I don't think A game for A game this year, LSU's still a 12-point favorite. And I'll take them, even though it's in the daytime. So that's my pick. I'll give you a little bite, Alabama fans. Like I said before, I do think y'all look a little more sharp on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Our LSU's offense has a lot to prove. In addition to Jordan Jefferson coming in, I think it's going to help our offense a lot more than hurt us, because we've got 2 senior quarterbacks that you got to deal with, and both these guys have won some big games for us in the past, and they've also played like turds too. But it's no worse than Chris Leak or Jason Campbell or John Parker Wilson or all those other guys did until their senior years when they really caught fire. So that's what I'm taking. I'm taking LSU. I'd give Florida the 12 points. I really don't care. I think you're going to see the Tigers play their best ball they have this year. The Kentucky game was kind of a sleeper, but that doesn't really concern me. But anyway, we'll see. That's why we got to play the game, and who knows? Muschamp might have his boys ready and eating nails to come in there and avenge that loss, both to us at home last year and against Alabama last year when they really just they got physically beat up. But we'll see. And thanks for watching, and send your emails to secwestdudes@live.com. Thanks.